Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Yeah, I really feel a lot of us are on a journey in our life. And sometimes you need answers. You're looking for answers to try and figure that out or navigate that journey and move your life forward. We have two ladies today that join us, and they've got the answers in many different ways. And one of them is a success coach, which is somebody that's going to help you attain your goals. The other one is a psychic medium that will help you find answers in a different spiritual kind of way. And
Great.
Kristy Esser and Cyndi Jacobs join us right now. How you guys doing?
Thank you,
Great.
Steve. Great to be here.
What an interesting mix. I mean, I've spoken before to psychic mediums who are also life coaches in some regard, but not two. It's like two for the price of one we got here today. It's great.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
let's start, if we could, with Kristy. And
Yes.
you are a psychic medium, right?
Yes, I am.
Tell me about that, because I think a lot of people have it confused. What's a psychic? What's a medium? What's a psychic medium? How would you define?
Okay, so I guess the best way to explain a psychic is someone that can give like a specific attempt to discern information through the use of a heightened perception or perceptive. You know, it's like I can tap into something deep to see what's going on in somebody's life and to help them navigate through tough decisions or just difficulties in their life. And the medium part of it is where I'll say speak to people that have passed on in your life. They'll give me specific information about details that happened within your life, as with them, different memories or things that that it's them coming through.
Gotcha. And they might have the answers for your future, not like
Absolutely.
You're not a fortune teller. Let's get that out there. That's not what we're talking about here. But yeah, and in terms of, the psychic part, it sounds like you have the ability to tap into somebody's energy and kind of read them in that way. And, think of it in terms of going to a therapist. You've got a running start on things because you're already feeling what's in, where if you go to a therapist, not that that's bad, but you have to talk about it and get to that point. And then the next session you go to, now we have to recap everything and then move forward.
Yeah, there's like 2 or 3 sessions that get wasted on
Yes.
just like explaining things. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I was talking to a therapist and he kind of aged out, great guy, but it just wasn't serving me. And just what you just said, 3 sessions with somebody else. I was like, this guy is just not, I don't feel, I'm not connecting. Yeah.
I literally read a man who was going through a divorce, and he was speaking to a therapist to try to understand his relationship and what he missed. He sat down with me for 1 hour. He's like, I've got more information in 1 hour than I did in 6 months with a therapist. His words, not mine.
I totally believe it. I totally get it. And again, there's great therapists out there. I'm not taking that away.
Oh yeah. No,
There
definitely.
are. Absolutely.
So we're going to get into the coaching aspect with Cyndi in a sec, but I'm intrigued on the psychic end of things. Do you walk through a store and pick up people's energy, and how do you turn that off?
It's like a switch. I didn't know how to do it at first. I'm not going to lie. Everything was overwhelming for me at first. And it's like, I would literally walk over to somebody and say, excuse me. And I said, are you open to any type of information I may tell you? Because I couldn't shut it off. And I'd be walking over to perfect strangers and kind of, and then I just learned it's like a switch. I can just like tune it out. You know what I mean? I don't know how else to describe it.
No, that's fine. And if you want to turn a switch on for me, that's okay. I've always said it. Can I tell you, I've never asked for a reading. I've been given readings, but I feel guilty if I say, hey, you getting anything? Because I feel it's like, if you know somebody who's a psychic, it's the same thing if you have a carpenter come to your house and you got crown molding hanging off the wall. And it's like, hey, while you're here, can you fix that? I'm like, that's just
While you're here.
Yeah.
So
It becomes 24/7. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, I can imagine that. And do you have spirit guides around you? Do you feel a presence of like a spirit team that helps you along?
It's so weird. I think I don't feel it. I more hear it. I don't know how I hear things rather than feel things, or I see things in my face. I see like words. It's like watching a television that's like in front of my face.
Wow.
Yeah.
Super cool. So Cyndi, you are not just a life coach, but more of a success coach. So if somebody has goals, whether they're personal and professional, that's something that you could help them out with?
Right. So my clients would be people who maybe they're business owners and they want to take the business to the next level and they're kind of stuck. They don't really know what to do. Or someone who wants to begin a business and they're afraid. I know how the conscious and the subconscious work, right? And in very deep levels. And I can talk them through and I can figure out really within one conversation what's keeping them stuck and how to get over that hurdle. Or maybe they want to write a book, or maybe they want to lose weight. I help all kind of people. They have some kind of a goal, or they have something they want to achieve and they're stuck. They can't do it on their own. And they look to me for guidance through that. And I have like a process that I take them through.
The subconscious is so powerful.
Oh my goodness. People don't know who they are or what they're capable of.
It's
so they
true.
come to me first. I give them the quick answers of what's actually going on. And then they go to her. I send them over to Cyndi, and then she can dissect to undo all of the paradigms or the bad habits, or
if we're working together.
yes.
Yeah. Interesting team, you guys, both of you connecting. How do you know each other? You're friends, you work together? Like, how does that go?
Best friends.
Since like we
okay.
were 18, we've been best friends. So
And our kids are getting married.
my son's marrying her daughter.
And I psychically saw that
And
happening.
she saw it coming
Yes,
before they had even met. Like, because we didn't introduce them as children to each other.
ever.
We just didn't.
And then my daughter broke up. Goosebumps, right? My daughter broke up with her boyfriend. I said, Cyndi, is Sean single? Yes. I'm like,
he had just broken up with his
and
girlfriend.
I said, do you think he'd be open to seeing a picture of Lexi? And the minute she said yes, I'm like, Cyndi, they're getting married. She's like,
I'm like, what? What are you talking about?
their wedding is scheduled for this October.
No words. Three words. Meant to be. Meant to
Yeah.
be. That's just, and
Yeah.
you know, when you said, yeah, and our kids are getting married, I was like, all right, first of all, it doesn't look like you're old enough to have kids that are getting married. But then past that, I'm thinking, all right, that's kind of cool. And then it's like mind blowing. Wow.
Oh yeah, my son's 20. He'll be 27.
My daughter's 29.
Wow. And I have younger ones, but my daughter is going to be 27 this year, a couple of months. Wow.
Okay.
Oh, you're right there with us.
Yeah.
And if you tell me that she's getting married, I'm going to disconnect this whole thing right now.
Is she getting married, Kristy?
Yes, she will be.
Well, she was with somebody for a bunch of years, like 3 or whatever, and then they kind of ended things, and he wasn't really serving her. And I great guy, but just not. She's with somebody else. I haven't met him yet, so we're gonna see. Stop with that look. Stop with that look.
Yeah, you can always read my face. There's nothing hidden on my face.
I'm the same exact way, and it's just I'm not gonna look at your face. No. So if somebody is thinking about making a change in their life, how does it work working with, I've never spoke to anybody where it's 2 people and they do what you do. So this is all new territory for me. How does that
So
work?
usually begin with Kristy, because I wouldn't want to give Kristy any information on them.
Right.
So they come in, that Kristy knows nothing about them other than their first name. And then
A lot of times I don't even know that, but yeah.
Yeah, sometimes not even that. And then pass it, and then go to me after that. But if we're working together, people don't have to work with both of us, but you know, or sometimes I'll be working with someone and I feel like Kristy could help them in a certain area. And then, you know, if I do pass on, I don't tell Kristy any information about them.
Gotcha. You know, before we turn the car to the kids getting married part, I wanted to say about the subconscious mind, because it's so powerful. And I only learned that like a week ago, just by chance. It all happened. I got hypnotized.
Okay.
Really?
So beneficial. Took me back to my childhood. I knew where I wanted to go. I knew what I want to fix. But just, I was in my subconscious, and it was, what an experience. It's so, you know, for you.
All knowing, all powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, think about what it does. It runs your whole body system without you being consciously aware of it. So if it can
Amazing.
heal a cut or digest your food or help your body function, just think about everything it knows.
Yeah, and sometimes can know the wrong thing. Like for example, let's say you're a kid and you heard a comment, but it wasn't even meant for you. This is not my situation, but just an example. And it wasn't meant for you, but as a kid, you don't know any better, so you held it internally, and that could have just changed your whole life up to this
Yeah.
point until you figured it out.
Everything goes right in and it develops your self-image, right or wrong. It
Yeah.
doesn't, because the subconscious doesn't decipher what's good for you or bad for you in that sense,
Mm-hmm.
It just takes information that comes in and programs your self-image. And then you work from that your whole life. Those beliefs that get everything kind of just gets programmed in, your beliefs, how you see yourself, what you believe is possible. Yeah.
What's your background, Cyndi?
Oh, well, before being certified in coaching, I was in real estate, but I had a niche where I would do only custom homes, and I still do that a little bit. But then I went a couple of years ago and got certified and kind of went through my own experience, with other coaches, which led me into coaching. But I got certified with Proctor Gallagher Institute. So it's been great.
It's got to feel so rewarding.
Oh my gosh, to help people. I mean, but literally, just touching them a couple of times, a couple sessions with them, they're like, everything's already changing, just to hear that, it's very rewarding.
Definitely. And how about you? How about you, Kristy? When did you realize you had some ability, some gifts?
I think I realized it, oh gosh, probably about 10 years ago, but not truly realizing it. I was a barber. I had my own business as a barber. So my sister and I, we would give, what we thought was helpful information to our clients. It was actually through psychic ability. We had no idea, but just one person after another person, how did you know that was going to happen? Or how did you know I was going to get that job? And I'm like, I don't know.
Wow. Oh.
So, and then I just realized one day, like, oh God, maybe this isn't just talking to talk, like something's happening here.
How did you feel it at that moment? Like, let's say you have a client in the chair and something overcomes you and it's like, hey, by the way, what are some of the things that you would say to them?
Well, I'll give you one really good example. So I'm going to use this when I first met my husband. I said, your dad passed away, right? And he's like, yep. And I said, there was money that was hidden all over the backyard. I said, but you didn't find it all. I said, he's like, what are you talking about? I don't even have that property anymore. I said, well, it's not at the house. I said, you have to call the state treasury department. And I said, just if I'm wrong, whatever, but just do this. So he calls the state treasury department, and there was $17,000 in money that was he didn't know about a certain account, and it was unclaimed money. It was only for him. And somehow, some way, his dad came through to tell me this because his father wanted him to find this money.
Wow. And yeah. I have a business, and I just had to pay my taxes for the business. It has no reflection of salary. It's just, it's the business tax.
Right.
It's 17 grand.
Really? Wow.
Are you? And you can't make this stuff up.
Look at the face. There's no smoke and mirrors. This is, I am what I am.
Yeah.
And I will be dealing with that later today because there were some issues surrounding it, and with bookkeeper and the CPA, the whole weird.
That's great.
Why that amount? That's so weird.
Validation. This is validation. There you go. You're on the right path. It's all validation.
We don't believe in
coincidences. Nope. I'm right there with you. The universe has whatever plan it has, and however deep you go into the universe, whether it's connected to religion or whatever you want to, believe. Yeah, people are put in your life for a reason. It just doesn't happen.
Absolutely. You're meant, there's billions of people in the world, and you only meet a handful of them. Right. So you're meant to know those people for a reason, whether it's casually or more personally. You're meant to come across that person. Like, take the time to find out why, and you know what I'm saying?
And we always have people, the opportunities, the tools, everything right in front of our face. We just have to rethink things sometimes on how to act.
I think it is. It goes this way because we're so busy with everything and so busy with life, and sometimes you're not you're not present. You're present, but you're not really present. So you don't
Exactly.
really
You're in a
see.
hurry. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not seeing the signs. You're not picking up on why that person is there or why this happened. You're just like, I call it the treadmill of life, blah, 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 blah. Every day, just rinse and repeat, just doing your thing until you
Mhm.
take that time to see it. Then you're like, oh, wow, okay, that's interesting how that
And if
happens.
you really pay attention, the signs are there every single day. And once you get
We
used
see
to,
signs all the
and
time.
once you get used to recognizing that, it'll happen more and more and more.
Mhm.
Once you
So-
get used to recognizing it.
Can we talk about signs for a sec?
Sure.
Yes.
I'm a big believer in it, and I also believe if you ask, you'll get.
Yes.
And I'll give you an example. I made a life-changing decision last Thursday,
Okay.
and it involved my daughter, not my older one, and my son as well. And I was wondering if I made the right decision. So I'm in the car, and I explained it to him. It was all good, right? The next light I came to, right after this took place, I'm talking 30 seconds. I'm sitting at the light, and I'm looking over to the right, and I'm at this corner a lot.
Yeah.
There's a new business that opened up, and there's a big sign on the business. And again, I'm thinking about, I hope I made the right decision. I think I did. I went with my gut. I factored this one out and jumped on this decision.
Uh-huh.
And the sign said victory.
I'm telling
Yay.
you.
And it's just like, I didn't say a word. If the light didn't change, I probably would have taken a picture of it. And to me,
But
that
it probably hit you in a certain way where it meant something to you.
And
Where
it's
if you
hard-
weren't thinking about that in the moment, it would have been nothing. It would have been a
Right.
sign.
Yep.
But it hit you in a certain way where it was validation, right?
Absolutely.
That's the key. That's the key, right?
Yep. And I wasn't looking for it. I was just thinking it. And, there
No.
was
Right.
and in terms of signs, and I want to get into that with you guys in a sec, but there was another time last summer where I had a challenging day and I was thinking about my mom who passed. I was like, Mom, did I make the right choice in this? Is it going to go well today? Whatever it's going to be. I was vibing her before I went to bed. I woke up, I was thinking about her. I'm in my car. It's like 9:30 in the morning. I'm driving to where I have to go, where it's going to be kind of important. And I look down at my energy drink and the expiration date is her birthday.
That's what we're
That
talking
kind
about.
of thing happens to us all the time.
Is
Yes.
it really?
Yes.
What's the chances? There's no way that's a coincidence.
You know what the chances are? It's 1 in 365. And, my son is very scientific. I'm like, you're right.
Even more than that, probably.
You ready
It's
for
higher than that. But I did the same thing with my dad that passed away. I was thinking about my dad and things that happened between us before he passed. And then I happened to just notice the car in front of me. The car in front of me, the license plate was his birthday. Now,
Okay.
how many cars would be, that
Yeah.
car had to perfectly move in front of me at that moment.
Yep.
At the moment I was thinking about my dad, and that's his birthday?
Yep.
Like impossible.
My-
impossible.
my address for my business where we're sitting now is 111.
And
that's a spiritual number.
111s or 11s, I see them everywhere.
That's my address.
I
To
This
see
my-
it
is-
everywhere.
This is freaky. This is you're like, okay. So I was just about to say 11.
No, you didn't.
What?
I don't make this stuff up. I'm moving and the address is 173. And I just added it up. I was like, comes out to 11, which is a spiritual number, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It means you're on the right path. It means yes.
I'm
And I don't
going
know.
Right
I-
direction.
I don't have
And
the
serving
answers.
your purpose.
I don't know a lot about everything, but then I thought about it. I was like, all right, my birthday is 9/2. It's 11.
11. Yes.
I don't know if
Every
it
time I
means
look at a
something. but-
clock, it is something 11, 7-11, 11-11, 2-11. Like literally every time I look at a clock. And usually I've just been thinking about something. I don't know why, but
Interesting.
it's everywhere I look.
How about some other signs? Have people told you that they've seen?
I just get things all the time. Like I called her earlier this week, like, Kristy, you're not going to believe what happened. Like, there is no way this is a coincidence.
Tell him the whole story.
Mm.
This is amazing. I love this.
I'm like, it gave me the chills. So I was brushing my teeth. I got married this past September, right? And
Was it on my birthday, September 2nd?
it was the 15th.
Okay.
But before we got married, a couple months before we got married, we were talking about, wills and like putting each other on insurance and that kind of stuff. All the kind of things that you talk about before a wedding. So we're talking like, we haven't talked about this for like 8 or 9 months, however long it's been. And I was brushing my teeth and I was getting ready for bed. And I thought, I don't know if he ever actually like changed his insurance. Like I know I'm on his health insurance, but I was supposed to be like on his life insurance and other things. I'm like, I never saw that policy. Like, did he ever do it? Like, I would have saw something, right? Or had to sign something. I'm brushing my teeth, getting ready for bed. And I thought, well, I'll talk to him about it tomorrow. And as I'm getting in bed, I'm thinking about it. He looks over at me. He's like, what are you thinking about? He could tell I had something on my mind, but I didn't feel like talking about it right then as we were like getting ready for bed. So I just thought, oh, nothing. I'll talk to you about tomorrow. And we went to sleep. Nothing said. I get up the next morning, 9 a.m. I'm in the shower. I get out of the shower. He walks into the bedroom. He's like, what's your social security number? I'm like, I told him like, why? He's like, here, I want to show you that life insurance policy. Like, there's no way. We hadn't talked about it for 9 months. I had the thought the night before that we had to talk about the next morning. He comes in on his own and brings it up. Like there's no way. We haven't talked about this for 9 months that he would do this that morning, like the day that I thought about it. There's just no way.
I'm convinced that he felt your energy and he picked up on it. And it's kind of an uncomfortable topic sometimes to talk about. Hey, you're going to put me on your policy?
Right. I'm like, I'm not talking about it right this second. I'll talk to him about it tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Then he walks in with it, show all the things I thought. I never saw it. Was it done? Here it is. I want you to see it. Like every thought I had, he literally did on his own first thing the next morning.
Wow.
There's just no way.
No.
That's just one of many stories though. That's just like the most recent one that happened to me. But
yeah, it's the signs are there and ask for them. That's what I believe in. I could go on forever. But we don't have to. We believe in the signs. It's just
the radio has a lot to signs, music, all that. If you're listen to the songs that are playing, that type of thing too. It'll speak to you, even if you're out in public and you are wanting an answer to something. Listen to the people talking around you, like not eavesdrop per se, but find an answer and just with conversations that are going on around you. That also can answer your questions.
You're like the spiritual dynamic duo. Right. It's what you guys offer. It's great to have a psychic medium. It's great to have a success coach. But when you combine what you both do, very powerful.
We believe so.
Yeah.
Interesting. If somebody wants to reach out, how do they connect with you guys?
Facebook, Heart to Heart 111.
Yeah, Facebook's the best way. Story Life Coaching or just Cyndi Jacobs. You can find me either way on Facebook.
Isn't it funny? We're talking about the 111 and you use 111 as your.
I do.
How interesting is that? Wow. What, Kristy, has anything really crazy come through when you've done a reading?
Oh my gosh. I don't even know where.
She has a million stories.
Wow. Well, if people are sitting in front of me and they want to connect to a loved one that passed, a lot of times they'll tell me their very name. They'll say, I'm so-and-so. And how
about the guy with 9/11, that whole thing? Remember?
Oh gosh. Okay.
That gave me the chills.
So there's a gentleman that I read and I said, why do I have the feeling that you're here, but you're not supposed to be here? Like I said, is it okay to say anything that, is anything going too far? He's like, nothing's going too far. I said, you should actually be dead. I said, but you're sitting here. I said, it's like you were supposed to be somewhere. You were supposed to be somewhere one day, but then you got a phone call saying you're not going there. You have to be somewhere else. Well, long story short, his boss had called him and he was supposed to be at the Twin Towers. He was a master electrician. He was supposed to be working in the basement that day. And his boss had called him and said, I need you somewhere else. Had he not have done that, he would not be here today. He escaped death from, and it all came up in the reading.
She's predicted pregnancies. That tell someone you're pregnant, they're like, no, I'm not.
Yeah,
and then they go home and take it. I guess what? I'm pregnant.
Yeah, I have somebody that texted me that they're like, you are not going to believe this. And
I've had that happen before. Psychics have said, "Oh, are you expecting a daughter?" No, I'm not.
No, I'm not. Yep. Like
son,
no, I'm not pregnant.
Son and daughter. I got the same thing from different psychics, and I wasn't even asking. Like I was at I don't know if you guys have friendlies. You're in Pennsylvania, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's just it's like pick any kind of like nice little restaurant with ice cream. And I'm standing there and this She was a little kooky. But she was good. And she comes up to me and she's like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna have a daughter." I'm like, "No, we're done, game over." And she was right. She was absolutely right. It's weird how you can pick up on stuff like that.
Yeah, I get intuition too. I wouldn't call myself psychic, but I am very in tune with my higher faculty of intuition. So I do get feelings from people that, trust your gut. Everybody has intuition as a higher faculty. We just have to learn how to use it.
We're just about out of time, but I know it's just like zooms on by, literally. Yes, trust your gut. And I have to say, anytime I've not trusted my gut, colossal mistakes.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't I thought that? Why didn't
you have an amazing energy. I just need to say that. You have I just love your energy.
Oh, thanks. I'm just me. I can't be anything else.
That's all you need to be.
Yeah. And it's funny with the gut thing. I could just I could list like bam, 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 bam. All the times I didn't listen to it. And sometimes it's hard to even interpret it. And somebody recently said to me, and it kind of clicked in my head. If it's an easy feeling, it's right. If it feels heavy, it's probably not.
You just took the words right out of my mouth. Watch that feeling of that heaviness, or that if you're taking a deep breath when you're making that decision, it's wrong. You know what I mean? If you catch yourself like, but don't second guess that.
Yeah. It's tough. It's so tough to trust in yourself and the universe, but I think that's what it's all about. But meeting you guys, I would trust you in a second. Seriously, to move life forward, connect with the other side, reach your goals. Tell me again, your Facebook page. How do we find you?
I'm Kristy Esser, Heart to Heart 111.
And Cyndi Jacobs on Facebook, or Starry Life Coaching. Either way, you'll find me either way.
And you know what? If somebody half heard that and knows one of those, you could always connect with the other one. I'm sure you guys are friends. Come on.
Yes.
Yeah. It was really, really great talking with both of you.
It was nice talking with you too. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Maybe down the road we'll do some readings. We'll see, or we'll talk some more.
Sounds great.
I appreciate it.
Thank
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
We'll be right back.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you can now listen live on the MyTuner Radio and online Radio Box apps for iOS, Android, and the Amazon App Store. Or check us out online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on onlineradiobox.com/US so you don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.